Before we start the regularly agendized meeting, we will have the public hearing for the annual budget, and I'll turn the time over to Ms. Huey. Correct? Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, actually not Madam President, it's
I know.
Mr. President.
Oh, sorry, excuse Denise.
Members of the board, district administration, and our guest. Tonight I'll be presenting the fiscal 25 revised budget. And again, just to kind of summarize the budget process, in July we adopt our budget, and that's based off of projections. Tonight we have our May revision, which allows us to adjust our budget based on actual, as much actual as we currently have to the budget at this time. So I'll go ahead and start pretty simply. We start with our maintenance and operation. This is part of our general budget. And we go off of our base level support, which equates to, we are able to add $484,481 to our base level support. There's been no change to the transportation revenue control limit. So our total revenue control limit, and this is only because the base level support increased this year by $98 a student. So that's the only reason that we are able to make this adjustment. At the time when we adopted our budget, we were not able to incorporate the $98 because it hadn't been on our budget sheets. So once it became finalized, then we're able to add it at the end. And the nice thing is that we can use this as carry forward money if it's not been spent this year. So that brings our revenue control limit increase to $484,481. Simultaneously, we get to make adjustments to our maintenance and operation. And again, thank you, a huge thank you to our taxpayers for our maintenance and operation override. We have a 14% override, and that's based off of prior year ADM. And because of that, we have $6,311,491, which is an increase of $43. And again, that's just because of our prior year ADM, we're able to make a small adjustment. Not much, but it's still an adjustment because it's based off of our base level support limit. Also, our next adjustment is our 2016 Prop 123 adjustment. And just a reminder to the board that this is the proposition that ends this year. So this is our last year to allocate for these funds. And there has been an increase for this year. And again, this is because of our prior year ADM, and we get to increase it by $13,029. Our energy water savings money, basically all this is it's a minus only because we have to use maintenance and operation monies to pay for our solar. And that's a contract that we had, gosh, has it been maybe 10 years ago now or 5 years ago? It's been some time.
Time flies.
It does, it flies, but that is our payment, and it comes right off the top. And so that makes our total maintenance and operation total increase for our allocation purposes of $497,553. Additionally, we're able to add our carry forward money of $8,019,224, and that's only because of encumbrances that are unencumbered from the beginning of the year to now. And as a reminder, whenever we're looking at our budget gets adopted in July, but we don't stop spending and paying all of our bills until the end of August. And so that's why there's a lot of things that are encumbered during that time frame. And now we're able, now that the books are closed as of the October annual financial report, we're able then to incorporate any of those encumbrances that either we weren't spent because of vacant positions or other encumbrances that we had that we didn't spend. So we're able to add that piece of it to our budget. So our total maintenance and operation budget limit, we're proposing an $8,516,777. Are there any questions? No? I can move on to the district additional assistance, which is what we refer to DAA. And just for the public, this is what we use for our capital resources, like our tables, our desks, our technology. Those are the funding sources that we use. It's a specific bucket of money. We can't use it for any type of salaries or benefits, but I'll go ahead and go through that piece of it. Our DAA revenue limit, we get to increase again because of prior year ADM. There was that change, and we're able to incorporate $3,295. There's been no change to the capital outlay override. Again, a huge thank you to our taxpayers who approved that, and that's a flat amount of $1 million every year for 7 years. Our DAA, we didn't move any money from DAA to maintenance and operation. And so any other adjustments, the adjustment that we were able to add this year, and again, this was federal dollars. It was a one-time for our free and reduced meals. We were able to add $206,555. We gained a little bit of interest. Again, I never project the interest just because it's unpredictable. And so we're able to add $81,204 to this year's budget for a total DAA allocation, additional allocation of $345,054. The last thing is we get to add on top of our allocation is our carry forward. And again, we estimated, so we are able to add $1,155,079 from the beginning of the year to now. And again, that's just due to encumbrances and items that were on back order, specifically our big items, big ticket items, which would be our buses. And so that is that came over to this year, and you'll see that expenditure in this year's budget when we do our annual financial report. So the maintenance and operation new budget that we're recommending is $68,904,794 for our maintenance and operation. And in addition to that, we're asking for the district additional assistance budget limitation for DAA of $8,102,277.
Thank you, Ms. Huey. She makes it look very easy. It's not. And I want to say not only thank you to Lizette and her team, but also thank you to this board, to your publicly elected board, for your vision of wisdom and stewardship to the financial resources that are entrusted to us to deliver this important mission. As you look at that column of numbers, the takeaway is quite simply that the budgetary financial state of the district is strong. By design, by vision, by intent, so important. The world is so rapidly changing and maybe a little confusing these days, maybe even more than usual. But one of the reasons we're conservative is so that we can have a safety net, the ability to navigate the waters when they get a little bit choppy and tough. And we've heard about, and I've shared about how we're currently going through a time where enrollment is a little bit different. The growth trajectory is a little different, and it's slowly coming back. And this is not unlike the whole country, frankly, for a lot of reasons. But at the end of the day, we're able to manage that because we are careful and conservative. So I thank you for that. And I just wanted to say that in the public. Again, at this point, this item at this point does not require action. It will be brought back as an action item as a matter of new business. So I'll turn it back to you, Dr. Sparks.
Thank you very much. Did anybody have any questions before we about the budget? I think I'd like to add, I think all of you come here for very different reasons tonight to celebrate people generally, which we think is my favorite part. And I think often when we talk about budgets, people kind of, their eyes gloss over and it's boring. But I think when we look around the state right now, it's important to recognize that all the changes in our column, in that adjustment column, are positive. There are many, many, many districts in our state right now that don't budget in a conservative manner, and those are negative. So their numbers are dropping. And I think this is my 10th year, or 11th year on the board, and I don't think I've ever seen anything significant in that column that wasn't positive because we are conservative, and that conservative structure is important because that means we get to the end of the year and the bank account's not empty. We have extra and buffer because, when the AC plant goes out at the high school and it's $1.6 million to replace the AC plant, or, when we have something breaks and things are more costly than they ever were before. So I just point that out, and I think this is an opportunity for the public to see that budget as a whole. I think it's interesting because the $1.19 million for the power budget is a negative, but we make that back in production. So I think when people realize that's just slightly less than our annual power bill, $1.2 million, and we make that money back. So while we spend it, we make that back in production, and then we own the facilities and the systems afterwards. So, and Arizona has a great law that allows us to do that. The public, maybe the public doesn't always know, and I just want to say it out loud. If the product system doesn't meet the production standards the company said it would meet, so like you put solar on your house, when they say, oh, we think it'll make, 7.7 kilowatts a day and so many a year, if it doesn't make it, oh well. Here at the school district, if we get to the end of 10 years and it hasn't produced what they said it would produce, they have to write us a check. So it's a great state law. It allows schools to put systems in and be covered and safe from that. So I just want to add that. But thank you for listening to the boring budget.
Thanks, John.
Lizette loves it, but Ms. Huey thinks budgets are great. But listen, no, I don't like to see my accountant either, and he loves me, and I like him because he does what he does, and he's great at it. But we appreciate what you do. Just because I say it's boring doesn't mean it's disparaging. Because what you do is very, very important, and it keeps people paid. And we're not, and I'm not joking. There are districts in Phoenix right now. Those numbers look really, really scary because they didn't budget conservatively. So, or didn't even have, some of them I look at it and I'm like, did you even have a budget? So anyway, but thank you. So I think we'll close the public hearing. Everybody okay with that? Any other questions? I talked a lot there, got on my soapbox about budgets.
I thought Lizette's presentation was great. I didn't find it boring at all.
You didn't find it boring at all?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other comments or questions? Great. Oh,
Sir, sorry. I just
Yeah.
want to add to, thank you so much. We appreciate your group and all your hard work. It's incredible. And I'm glad you mentioned that because everything is so expensive. And lately, some things that we've approved that we have to have, and you look at the bottom line and wow. And also too, you mentioned buckets. So really important that only certain things can be purchased out of certain buckets and you can only mix certain buckets. So thank you for all your knowledge and making sure that everything's sound. So
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, can't be left out.
Tony has to say something.
So, just like John said, he's been here 11 years. I took a hiatus somewhere in there, and actually this is my 11th year. So, I said this before, Lizette, but I've worked with 5, I'll say CFOs at this district. And we have been through some rough times over the last 30 plus years. But having somebody to guide us through the process who really has heart in the district and can support all of us in understanding the budget and explaining the budget, I greatly appreciate that. And I value you for your job as well as a friend. So
Oh.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Very kind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and open the regularly agendized meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to roll call. Ms. Palacios.
Governing Board President Denise Reese, absent. Governing Board Clerk Dr. John Sparks.
Present.
Governing Board Member Anthony Bruno.
Present.
Governing Board Member Amy Petersmark.
Present.
Governing Board Member Raul Rodriguez.
Present?
District Administration Superintendent Dr. Manuel Valenzuela.
Present.
Chief Financial Officer Lisette Huey.
Here.
Assistant Superintendent Darlene Robinson.
Present.
Assistant Superintendent Scott Downs.
Here.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to approval of the agenda. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sparks, at this point, I'd recommend approval of the agenda as it was revised.
So
Thank-
moved.
Second?
Motion, second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Approval of the minutes, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sparks, in your packet, you have draft copies of the minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting of the board back on April the 23rd. And after your review and consideration, I do recommend approval at this time.
We have a recommendation? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. And I'll begin with the request for a point of personal privilege. First of all, in case any of you are wondering where President Reese is at, I bring it up only because it speaks to the fact that your publicly elected governing board members, and I look, and without exception, they're not only representatives of the public, but all of them either are currently or have been, or maybe both, parents of students in the Sahuarita Unified School District. So they invest their own children in the educational system that they are charged to govern. I think that's pretty special. And Miss Reese's oldest son is graduating from Sahuarita High School and has earned a couple of scholarships that he's receiving this evening at an awards dinner. She tried to talk me into trying to rush back, and I told her, no, you get to be a mother and you need to celebrate this event with your family. You have a great team and they're doing a great job. And while I'm talking about that, another one of our board members is spending his birthday here with us this evening. Happy birthday, Dr. Sparks. This was it, 29? Yeah, okay, that's what I
Strong
thought.
30.
Yeah, strong
Strong
30. Happy birthday, Dr. Sparks. The ROTC program recently had the chance to take an amazing trip to Hawaii. They went through this Raiders Challenge, and they went through unbelievable events. I'm glad some of them are here to vouch for me on this, but I heard mini Ironman, canoe race, and I heard about the people they competed against in Hawaii. What I heard was, quote, they have their own canoes. Combat tests, swim in the ocean. And our students did amazing. I can't remember all of them, but in all these events, I saw first places, third places, second places. As always, our cadets represented us with true excellence and character and honor, and just so extremely proud of them and how they represent us literally around the globe nowadays. And very, very grateful for that. And again, I think I am a proud champion of public education, and these are the experiences that our students get in public education, and they're being prepared for the future. They're being prepared for life and for success. So thank you. And I see Master Sergeant King. I don't know if the commander's here as well, but the learning experiences they provide are just absolutely amazing. Makes me feel very, very humble. Speaking of humble, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I'd like to thank all of our schools, all of our principals, all of our directors, for all of our PTOs and parent groups for everything that's being done around the district to recognize, celebrate, recognize our teachers, our educators, our staff members for the amazing task that they bear on their shoulders to educate the future of our country, and they do it with dedication, tireless effort, sincere concern for the well-being of our students. And when you look at programs like this and many others, I'm humbled by it every day. I literally am. I feel fortunate to be around such greatness, such genuine, caring people. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week. And the last thing I'd say at this time is there's Ms. Petersmark and I were talking about the fact that whether it's sports or honor society or band or awards assemblies, there's so much going on. It can be a little overwhelming, and I think my best advice is take time to take a deep breath and actually celebrate and enjoy these experiences instead of just bouncing from place to place, because these are memories, these are special, and they're really a validation of us as a community and how together we work hard to do the best we can by our students. So with that, I think my report is completed. Thank you, Dr. Sparks.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to governing board reports. Mrs. Petersmark.
I just want to say congratulations. We hear so many great things about you up there. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Represent the district in such an exemplary manner. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we know you all are going to do amazing things. We appreciate you very much. I wanted to mention too the Walden Grove Academic Decathlon. So they went to nationals. Can you believe it? And they received 4th place. Incredible. And one of the students took first individually. So we were talking to Mr. Borgia, he's the sponsor, and I can't even fathom how much they study, hours and hours to prepare. So congratulations to them, it's phenomenal. And this is it, as Dr. V was saying, that it's almost over. I can't believe it, this school year. So good luck to all the students on your final exams. Just do your best and enjoy every moment. Like Dr. Valenzuela said, so many activities and fun things going on. And thank you to everyone, all of us, part of this district. Everything that everyone's done this year, all the hard work to make everything possible. Thank you, administration, staff, teachers, parents, students, everyone. And it's just a great district to be in, and it's such a fun time. And thank you, because I know Tony and I were just chatting. We're like, okay, what things do we go to? We're looking at all the invitations, and it's just so incredible to be able to do all these fun things and just keep it in your memories, enjoy it always, because as you know, parents, it goes super fast. So. Thank you for letting me share. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bruno.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that this last week was on 3 different campuses, and I participated and watched students of all ages. They weren't my kids. They were all of your kids. And if you get an opportunity to go to an event, an awards assembly, a band, go and enjoy, whether it's your kids or not. I'm very proud of the fact that I had the opportunity to graduate from this school. My kids had the opportunity to graduate from this school. And I'm proud of every one of them that does something in supporting our youth. You know, our ultimate goal is for our kids to succeed in whatever that succession may be. And these next 2 weeks, the rubber kind of hits the road. And take in something for another kid, support another child, be proud of them. It will come back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to, excuse me, I'd just like to wish everybody, all the students, good luck on your finals this week. Unfortunately, I have to rough it. I will be taking an Alaskan cruise next week. I'll be back on the 28th, and so I won't be there for graduation. But I would just want, and this is the second year I missed it, so it's kind of hard on me. Last year was COVID, got COVID, and was able to make it. And this year I got to take that cruise. But I just want to wish all the class of 2025 the very best. Congratulations. I wish I could be there. I will be there with you in spirit, but congratulations. Got a lot to look forward to.
In spirit on the deck with a Mai Tai.
I will.
Yeah. I think this is a great time of year. This time of year always makes me smile because we're often in here and stuff's going on in the auditorium and the parking lot's full because there's stuff going on in 3 places. And it is a pretty cool opportunity to see the culmination of efforts and works across the year. And appreciate you all being here this evening. And I'll go ahead and move on and not wax poetic on my soapbox or remind Tony that the first day to his were a long time ago. But hey. We'll go ahead and move on to recognition and community staff and students. I don't believe we have any community recognition. We'll start with staff member, May team member honoree.
Yes, Dr. Sparks, thank you. Once again, we are very proud to recognize one distinguished member as a representative of our amazing support staff team members. And once again, as you will hear shortly from my colleague, Mr. Downs, we have another example of how Sahuarita shines. Mr. Downs.
Thank you very much, Dr. Valenzuela. As is, it's always difficult to pick one person out of 450 people. We have a lot of great staff, and this is for our classified employee of the month. It is my pleasure to read this nomination, actually, from Mrs. Betsy Palacios, Executive Assistant to the Superintendent. She has nominated Mrs. Lisa Romero as the Sahuarita Unified School District Support Staff Member of the Month.
All right.
Lisa Romero was nominated for her outstanding contributions as a team member of the Sahuarita Unified School District office. Lisa has been in the district front office for the past 3 years and has demonstrated exceptional dedication in her current role as customer service specialist. Lisa has held other positions within our district. It is evident that the role that she is in is perfect fit for her personality and skill set, which benefits the school district. Although Lisa's official title is Customer Service Specialist, I consider her the Director of First Impressions for our district. She fulfills her role with a positive can-do attitude. Lisa is not only approachable and friendly, but also remarkably patient and accommodating, even when dealing with some of the most challenging customers, employees, or situations. She is always willing to go the extra mile to ensure that everyone she interacts with feels heard and valued. Her professionalism, empathy, and willingness to help other people make her an invaluable team member. It is my pleasure to nominate Lisa for the Employee of the Month in recognition for her consistent excellence and dedication to our district and community. Again, Mrs. Lisa Romero as our support staff member of the month.
Como siempre.
Synchronized clapping. We'll go ahead and move on to volunteer, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. You know, I often say there's something special here. There's a special spirit of community that kind of binds us all together toward shared purpose, and our volunteer corps is certainly an example of that. And this evening, it's our pleasure to recognize our latest outstanding volunteer of the year. And once again, I will delegate to my colleague, Mr. Downs, to do the honors. Mr. Downs.
Thank you, Dr. Valenzuela. It is my pleasure to read this nomination from Mrs. Michelle Verdugo, a teacher at Sahuarita Primary School, nominating our Volunteer of the Year. She has nominated Mrs. Peyton Powell as the Volunteer of the Year. Ms. Powell is currently an SHS student. She is a senior and will be graduating this year. She has volunteered in my classroom for the past 2 years. I can't tell you how happy it is to see a former student come back into my classroom to support students. She is consistent and rarely misses a day of volunteering. She comes in every Monday and Friday for the first 45 minutes of the school day. Quite often you will find her supporting struggling readers by practicing sight words, playing reading games, and listening to students read. She is well loved in our classroom, and we look forward to her hugs and her kind words. Her thoughtful and gentle approach in working with students is truly remarkable. I pray that she is able to use it in whatever she decides to pursue in the future. I love my sweet girl, and I ask that you please consider recognizing her as the Employee of the Year. Peyton is also a historian for her chapter in NHS and coordinates students reading to our students for Love of Reading Week. Again, Mrs. Peyton Powell as the Volunteer of the Year for SPS.
Peyton, thank you and best wishes in everything you do.
You asked where she was going, and I think, having not grown up here, I think sweet going to a state school, so, go ASU. They're lucky to have you. I mean, I have to admit, I'm a Go Wildcat guy, but hey. But at the same time, congratulations. I think it's very funny. Tucsonans really care about where you go to school. The rest of the state, I've decided, doesn't care. They're like, sweet, state school.
Peyton, I gotta ask you, what are you going to study? Journalism. That is
Journalism.
outstanding. We're very,
Cronkite, yeah.
we're very, very proud of you. And yes, even though I bleed cardinal red and navy blue, I do admit, and we're actually working with ASU, they do some really good things up there. And so we wish you much, much success in everything that you do. Congratulations.
Very cool. Thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to student recognition, the NJROTC 2025 Certificate of Excellence, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, one of my favorite things to do is just brag about our students and their accomplishments. And there are so many. I never run out of things to talk about. Sometimes people say, why are you always talking about the ROTC program? And it's because they keep working, they keep striving, they keep reaching for excellence, and they never fail to achieve the highest bar through their collective and their relentless pursuit of excellence. And once again this evening, they are here to talk about the latest, the Certificate of Excellence. And I also believe, although it's not listed on the agenda, for the second year in a row, they were named the Unit 20 Unit of the Year, which covers like 4 or 5 states. So I'll turn it over to Master Sergeant King and whomever he is delegated for this presentation to share with us this evening.
Different perspectives and move around, and finally got over that national. This year, our national level achieved so much. Have a national champion later. I sent you a picture of the ring. He's too modest to wear it. But it's just been a great year. Great. Awards that they got is for the national drill. Participation in it. We were one of 2014. And most outstanding unit for the second year of Area 20. That puts us running for most outstanding unit in the whole. Hasn't come out yet. National. This is our staff and our prior staff outgoing. Much, Dr. V, I know a lot of requests. Going to Hawaii or whatever. Kids work hard and deserve last name. Got third, and that all the Polynesians all had their own. Out there, different events. No, they don't got their. No, they took them. Oh, you guys represented the unit, most outstanding, and
And before they, it's because they were led by a Marine.
Congrats. You make us proud. Congratulations. Best wishes.
Well done.
Well done. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Good job. Well done. Job. And I think I have to, over the last chunk of years, I have watched this NJRTC program with amazement. They continue to grow and excel and do phenomenal, amazing things. And yes, I have slept in a Quonset hut with Master Sergeant King. I slept at one end, he slept at the other. It was a great trip to the Marine base, and I've spent a lot of time watching them. And you have done, Master Sergeant King. I've come to respect you, and am grateful for your effort and that of your wife, who is always by your side, to the benefit and support of the children of this district. And I know that I don't just speak for myself. You have impacted children's lives at a high level, and I'm emotional about it because one of my children was one of those kids. You have done great things for this district, and you will be sorely missed. And thank you for your service.
Dr. Sparks, very well said. I often say the greatest investment you make is that which you invest in people. And I remember Master Sergeant King when he had retired. He was working in our payroll office and found the opportunity to be involved with that program. And I remember those conversations where they were downsizing some of the programs, and we were at risk of losing our program. And little by little, we've built it up. I also remember, and he referenced it, and you mentioned it, that Super Bowl event that we achieved at high level and qualified for nationals. I remember hearing from another member of our community, our mayor, Tom Murphy, whose daughter is currently an officer in the United States Air Force and went through that program. And I remember that Super Bowl event that you referenced. And I remember hearing, maybe even from you too, Master Sergeant King, but I know from the mayor, that when our kids first went to that level of competition, that we would get off the bus and we'd see the other teams who were setting the pace. And we were maybe a little intimidated, but at least we knew where we wanted to be. And so to be now based on qualifying for national level competitions, being in contention for these national recognitions, out canoeing everybody in Hawaii, it's now very satisfying to see the growth in our program to where when we go places and we get off the bus, we are that gold standard where people want to be. And I know your blood, sweat, tears, energy, and dedication has been a part of that. So I join with everybody else here in thanking you and wishing you nothing but the best. I know our paths will cross again, and we look forward to competing with you. Hopefully we'll beat you, but we'll see.
John?
Thank you, sir.
I just want to say, As I said before, I took a little hiatus in my sitting on this side of the table, but some 20 years ago now, someone came to us and said, you need to start ROTC. And they actually provided us with kind of the dollar amount and what it would cost to start the program. This district had actually lost a bond election, and we had to justify to the public how to bring this program in. We went to foundations as a board then. We were supported actually by the Wolfslager Foundation, who is a Coca-Cola distributor, with the first large check to start the program. We didn't even know if our students would enroll in the program. All programs are not just students, they are the people behind the program. I'm very proud of what these youth have done and how far the program has gone, because as a board, we took a leap of faith that the program would work. And 20 years later, we've seen results and we continue to see results. And so I would say to the people who are here, support youth, understand when we put a bond election forward, it's for programs like this. It's for supporting the youth and making things move forward. The money that is there will support it. We have to make sure the right person is behind the program. And as you heard today, we have had the right person, and we hope that continues. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And to these young people, congratulations. And we hope to see great things from you. It was money well spent. Thank you.
Yeah, any other comments? Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to out of the recognition phase and move on to no call to the public tonight. Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and move on to new business. And I think typically we allow families and people to leave. Yes, it's totally okay.
They know the routine, Dr. Sparks. Yes, sir.
Right on.
Thank you all for making time in your busy schedules to be with us.
It is finals week. We understand.
Oh, it'll be fun. I believe they do. Recently retired Marine Corps drill instructor. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Yes. I think.
I am. I'm going to blame everything on you.
Okay, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, new business, early childhood center fees. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir.
It's already
Thank you,
up on the
Dr.
screen.
Sparks. And as you look on the presentation, yes, the ultimate recommendation will be, kind of as a foreshadow, a tuition increase proposal. However, I'm actually excited about this presentation because it's much more than that. It's really an opportunity to shed light on the fact that more and more of our students are coming to us at a higher level of readiness in kindergarten, because more and more of our students are having some form of an early childhood formal experience, and that enhancing that level of readiness. I think you'll hear also about the growth and the high level of quality of the early childhood experiences that we have here in Sahuarita Unified School District. I think back to 2005 when I came, one of the first things I heard was there's no preschool here. And so we've worked to kind of not only address that, but grow that. And so The other thing that I would tell you is that our goal is always, and I think after all the years that I've been here, you've heard me say it more than once, whether it's increasing tuition on book fees or preschool fees or cafeteria lunch fees. It's always about making that a last resort, and only when necessary and only to the minimum extent that we need to be responsible financial stewards. And so with those kind of points of thought or anticipatory set or background, I would ask Ms. Beignet, our Director of Student Services, who also has senior responsibility for early childhood, and I guess she's recruited Lizette to help her. And so,
Just in case I pass out, she'll pick me up.
Jess, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Valenzuela. Good evening, Governing Board members, Dr. Valenzuela, Cabinet partners, and Mrs. Palacios, and valued community members. First, I want to thank Mrs. Huey for catching me if I fall and for being here to answer any questions from the financial lens. Also, Mrs. McLaughlin for everything she does every day to run our early childhood center and for being here to answer any questions that I might not be able to answer in that regard. It's never fun to ask for an increase in anything, so I don't take lightly what we're standing here doing this evening. But alas, we must ask for a minimal tuition increase at our early childhood center. And in order to frame that, I'm going to do a couple of things in the next very few minutes because I only want to take a few minutes of your time. One is to look at the reasons why the proposal is necessary with a background history of the center, the reasons for or considerations for your review, and a little more information about the Early Childhood Center rate structure right now, what we're proposing, some local comparisons, and what next steps could be. So our Early Childhood Center opened in 2007. At that time, it was a rented space in Green Valley, if I have my history correct. In 2012, the board supported building a state-of-the-art facility just across the street, where Mrs. McLaughlin has done a phenomenal job of running our early childhood center, the first place where many of our families meet the district. Our current enrollment is 187 students. We have 89 students served through special education at our early childhood center. Of course, Mrs. McLaughlin works very hard to ensure that we are DES and Arizona Department of Health Services licensed and certified, and also accredited through the National Accreditation Commission. We specialize in inclusive preschool, as you know, special education services within an inclusive environment, which obviously is a benefit both to our students with disabilities and to our students without disabilities. And of course, we support a tuition program, and then the district supports the special education side of the house in that regard. There are many competitive advantages, too many really to capture in a brief presentation to you this evening, but some of the things that we offer our community through the Early Childhood Center are longer operational hours than most of our competitors. We're proud to present an inclusive educational model there at the preschool. We have, with seamless special education service integration, of course, as I mentioned, certified and accredited programming, experienced staff, hired and supported under Mrs. McLaughlin's leadership, modern facilities because of your support and the support of our community with regards to bond measures. As you know, we're building 2 additional classrooms at this time. Mrs. McLaughlin offers a comprehensive half-day option as well as a full-day option for families so that there is that flexibility with regards to what their needs are for early childhood and for that support. And we also have evidence of and potential for enhanced overall district enrollment resulting from their initial programming experience at our Early Childhood Center. I haven't fainted yet. She's
You're
not
good.
working very hard. Okay, so financial considerations. There is an expected tuition income shortage for the school year, which thanks to Mrs. McLaughlin's continued efforts of mitigation are addressed through grants, whether or not it's through the PIMA Early Education Program or through DES. Those shortages have been addressed continually through Mrs. McLaughlin's efforts to secure those funding sources for the district. Our proposed minimal increase to you tonight is $20 a week, or an approximately a 10% increase. And that could and should bring in an additional $48,000 a year or around about that based on our current enrollment. Of course, you continue to be very kind to staff in increasing their salaries over time. And so we have seen a double in salaries from the time the center opened until tonight, until August of 25, when the next raise goes into effect. And there's been only two tuition increases since the inception of the program in 2007, totaling a total of $40. So we started at $150 per month, and we're now 18 years ago, and we're now at $190 a month for full-time programming. The last time, if you'll recall, that we did do a tuition increase was in the summer of 2021, and we have not looked at that in this manner since then. Of course, as I think was referenced in the beginning of our meeting this evening, there are increasing supply and service costs just in every industry at this time. And we continue to offer district employee discounts as a benefit to our employees for enrollment in the early childhood center of their children. We also offer a sibling discount, which of course impacts income and revenues. Special education programming considerations. Our Child Find team screens approximately 8 to 12 students every month. And of those 8 to 12 students, approximately 85 to 100% every month end up eligible for special education services at this time, which is a significant increase from prior years in terms of the number of students who end up being eligible for services. So our special education enrollment continues to increase at the Early Childhood Center, due in great part to Mrs. McLaughlin and the special education team at the center and the services that they provide. Those services are provided in a way that is meaningful and effective for the students there. Of course, as you know, we have federally mandated equitable access requirements through ADA, through 504 and IDEA that are addressed through the center. And of course, our weekly tuition revenue, there is some loss because we are paying for the special education service time, which is approximately 8 to 11 hours per student per week. So what are we asking for? Right now, our program for half day is 6 hours a day. We're 30 hours a week. The current rate is $160 per week, and we're asking for a rate increase to $180 per week, which it's a little bit more than 10%. Full day right now, 57 and a half hours a week or 11 and a half hours daily, which I might note is higher than just about any other place in the surrounding area in terms of hours offered during a day for flexibility for families. We're currently at $190 a week, and we're asking to go to $210 or approximately 10%. And we're only asking for 10% because our goal is to limit the increase to minimize our family impact. Okay. This was just a comparison of local per hour for full-time students, what the rate or fee is for those surrounding programs. And as you can see, even if the tuition proposal is approved, we will still be lower than all but one surrounding program in terms of hourly rate for our full-time programming. Moving forward, if this proposal were to be approved, we would want to prioritize communication for our families, make sure that they're notified as early as possible, planning for August. We would want to continue to maintain a competitive market position, balance financial accessibility for our families with sustainability of the program, continue, of course, with the high-quality program that Mrs. McLaughlin oversees at her center, preserve, of course, that inclusive education model, and then continue to rely on Mrs. McLaughlin for the great work she does in looking at and actively seeking out and applying for and securing grant applications, looking for additional funding sources, and then continue to monitor this circumstance annually, of course. Thank you very much for your time this evening and for your consideration of our proposal.
Thank you, Jess. Lizette, anything you'd like to add to that?
I would like to say great job. But I just wanted to commend the staff because Jess, along with Cheryl, along with all the staff at the ECC Center, they really do drive a lot of the grant applications, all the federal. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of things, not just with the regular applications for DES. Every type of application that we have for grant has so much red tape in addition to the IDEA, and we work alongside both in their respective roles and responsibility to make sure that we just, try to play as much as we can so that we can minimize as the most as we can every year. And so thank you to you guys, because you guys do a lot of the magic behind the scenes to make it work, which is why we haven't had to ask for an increase. So that's all.
Thank you for that. And
Thank you.
I'm just going to say what Lizette probably would say if she was digging deeper. This is not going to close the gap. This is going to mitigate the gap and kind of buffer the growing divide between what it costs to run the program and the revenue that it generates. As you saw from the bar graphs with the other districts, quality early childhood, even if you're efficient and smooth at operating it and careful, it's expensive. And our goal is to make it as affordable because we know it is essential. To many of our families, it is vital. It is vital to the operation of their families. It is essential to all of them that come in terms of preparing them for a solid, strong start to their educational career. So we value it tremendously. We value Cheryl and what her team do. And collectively, we've put a lot of time and effort into finding that reasonable sweet spot where we're both being responsible stewards budgetarily, but also being sensitive, really sensitive to the needs of our families so that we can make it as affordable as possible. And with that, I would recommend approval of the tuition fees for the Early Childhood Center, which again was a $20 weekly increase for both the half day from $160 to $180 and the full day from $190 to $210. And that is the recommendation.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Yes, Mr. Pruden.
I don't want to give you a heart attack. But I have 3 questions, maybe 4.
Oh.
That's fine. So, no, Tony is fine. The first question is, how close to capacity are you? And so the second question is, you're getting some new rooms too, and that will extend the capacity a little bit. And the third question may be for Lizette, and that is, you get scholarship money from First Things First, and how will the increased rate impact that scholarship money?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So every year, the First Things First monies, that gets established every year. So we don't know what the end result's going to be until next year, but I think they have a good capacity based off of their current grants. So they'll be able to sustain it at least for another year and then kind of see. They're never guaranteed, and it depends on who applies for those applications. We can never say I always estimate that they're not going to give us anything just to make sure. But I think traditionally it's gone up. So it coincides, but it's not significant like some of the other grants. Like the PEEPS grants, the PEEPS grant is the one that actually has helped us the most. But that one's always fluctuating. So we just have to wait and see. So there's not really a firm number regarding that right now, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's why I mentioned that they do a great job with monitoring what comes in, what's going out. And so I think, and then whatever it doesn't cover, we look for other revenue sources like other grants to help support that and support the families as well.
And then I guess the fourth question is, when you track students in whatever manner you track students and demographics, do you know how many parents work and you're actually allowing them to work because their kids are enrolled? Nearly all of them? There are some good opportunities out there for workforce development if you provide childcare so parents can work. And so we'll talk later.
Thank you,
great.
Mr. Bruno.
Yep.
Thank you.
Did you have something else to add?
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions? I would like to add, I appreciate the effort that goes in at the ECC. I know it makes me smile. You said it was over in Strip Mall. That's where one of my own children attended services at the ECC and spent time there. And so I think I've always had a soft spot, and I'm grateful that we're getting at least 2 more rooms. I know you'd like 5, but at least 2. But I'm grateful for what you do, and I think you made it through your presentation wonderfully. Did not pass out, and I think in no way to belittle or lower the work effort, and struggles of other individuals in this district. I think the work you do in student services is one of the most critical things we do, helping young people to succeed and obtain the free and appropriate education they, quite frankly, deserve. But also, you deal with a set of emotions and desires and angst and worry and anxiety, and I'm grateful for the ECC because it helps alleviate that for many of our families. I know, I hear them tell me that they enter the school system with much lower levels of anxiety, much lower. Doesn't mean they're not worried, but they come at it with a lot more ease and they know what to expect. They know what they're going to get. They know the people they're going to be dealing with. They know how their children are going to be treated, because you serve the vulnerable population. Many of your students are very vulnerable, and I am grateful for what you do. So I just wanted to add that I think it's part of our process. It's part of our system that I think many people don't even know exists. And the reality is the quality of education that those young children get there it isn't just good, it's superb, and it's very high. And I think, I know we never endeavor to be average. I'm glad that we are below average in price. But I know I talk to many people. I work in a facility with many people who put their children in a daycare, and to get the quality that they get here for $200 a week is amazing. So I'm not saying that doesn't justify. What I'm saying is I'm grateful that we make small, steady, incremental efforts to cover the basic need as costs increase. But I'm grateful that you do what you do. Sorry, there was a bunch of stuff all in there at once, but thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Seeing no other comments, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item for new business, and that is revised expenditure budget for 2024-25 with authorization. A lot. Almost lost my spot on the agenda. Thank you, Manny.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. Once again, this is the point referenced in the study session that we commenced this meeting with. And just in brief summary, as required, the current fiscal year 25 budget is required by statute to be evaluated and revised as needed by May 15th. So we are in compliance. In summary, I think you heard, and I hope you would agree, the budget is sound, healthy, and being managed in a very professional and thoughtful, methodical manner. The only other point I'd make is, in making this recommendation, we have the ability to combine the annual request to exceed the general fund subcategories. And of course, with the understanding that the total budget will not be exceeded. So all that means is we have a bunch of subcategories, and if we want to move money because we need to from the 100 to the 200 or the 300, that's allowable as long as the overall budget capacity is not exceeded. And so with that, I do recommend approval of the revised fiscal year 25 expenditure budget and approval of the request to exceed subcategories with the understanding that the entire budget won't be exceeded.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Thank you. If no one wants to discuss, I'd like to add, I think, Dr. Valenzuela, you always eloquently say that. I think sometimes I've decided that the state names things in a punitive manner, and this is one of those things. They name things, and if you're an accountant who understands debits and credits and generally accepted practices and state finance, it maybe doesn't sound so bad. But to the public, that the authorization to
Exceed
subcategories sounds, oh, what did you do wrong? There is no negative in that. It does mean that over time there are minor fluctuations, just like there would be in your individual budget. Sometimes your power bill for the year comes out to be $1,000. Next year, for the whole year, it's $1,008. The next year, it's $998. And sometimes we have to move those things around to compensate for that. And there's no ill or negative in that, but it sounds. I think the state did it. I think they did it to be punitive. I just got to be honest. I think it was on purpose. But I just want to say that and add that. There's no, Mrs. Huey didn't do anything wrong. Matter of fact, she's doing everything right. So I just thought I would add, what did it publicly say? I think I try to point that out when things sound way different than they actually are.
Worse than what they are originally. Yes, I
Yes.
agree with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to district flooring and painting. Dr. Valenzuela, GMP1.
This is at least as exciting as the budget, which to me is very exciting. And I would begin by saying that this item, once again, makes me proud because I summarize it with the phrase, we are honoring the community's trust. When the community punches that ballot and as a whole entrusts us with millions of dollars, we have a duty to honor that trust. And once again, we are honoring that trust. And thank you, Mr. Downs, for your lead in facilitating this process. This is the latest GMP, I guess it's called GMP number 1 amendment. This is the latest bond bundle. And basically, it's flooring and paint and to an extent, millwork. So Mr. Downs, as part of his process in managing the project, works with individual principals and sites and helps them in prioritizing what they need and where they need it the most. And so this in the area of flooring and paint is just that. For example, I'm excited because, in our Sonoran Desert Sun, stuff gets beat up. I mean, look at our own houses, and anything that faces the sun, it just gets worn out. Some of the projects, just to give you a flavor for it, the entire Onza Trail exterior is part of this project. Specific areas in Copperview, including stairs, rail, siding, restrooms at Sahuarita High School, select rooms, doors, SIS. Sopri has some door jambs and windows. The exterior of our office is very much in need of some TLC with regards to paint. A big one that came up in Scott's travels around the campus was the millwork, the basic classroom cabinets at the Sahuarita Primary School. I think they might have been there when Tony was a student, perhaps in the
Original.
way back. Yes, and so we need to replace those. On the flooring side, again, same kind of process. We've got, I think, 7 classrooms in Onza Trail. And again, they're prioritized based on need. Some places for different reasons wear out faster than others. They're at SHS, their front office, and they're kind of the fishbowl area over there, their cafeteria restrooms. Sahuarita Intermediate School, again, one of our older buildings, a majority of their rooms are getting done. SMS, 6 classrooms, but some labs and office space too. Sahuarita Primary School, I talked about the millwork, Sopri, a couple of classrooms there. In total, This GMP to core construction is for $1,726,000. No, $1,726,595 is the guaranteed maximum price, and that is my recommendation, is approval of this GMP at this time.
We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion second, any discussion? Okay. I think I'd like to add that I think CORE is, we've worked with CORE for many years, and one of the things I like about them is that they recognize that what they're doing has a core value, core mission, and it's to build facilities of high quality, high standard for students and children, and to make those environments usable and long lasting and really good looking too. For the most, that's what they make that effort. And I always know that they work to meet or exceed, meaning come in under budget. I've noticed that throughout the years, that they're under, and then we get to use those funds for other things that need to be done. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and if I may.
Yeah.
Talking about CORE, they are always looking for ways to save to enhance those projects. Just recently, we're starting a construction, and they were looking for a laydown area. And they were trying to find the best area and able to do that, because they know at any cost that they have of bringing out and staging and new trailers, and regardless of the location that we put it, they're always looking for, if they can save $12,000, they save $12,000, and it goes right back to us, which is what I really appreciate about the GMP process. Is we go through this as we're formulating the project, and we look at all the costs, and we look at where can we save it. And I can really honestly say that they are, they're a for-profit business, but they look at every single way that they can save the money so we can use it somewhere else. And that's just one example. So I agree with what you said.
Yeah, and I mean, put it out there. I don't have anybody that works there. I don't know anybody other than through here, right? I don't own anything. I've just watched their process. And I think they may be a for-profit company, but they also understand that their for-profit company builds school facilities for children. And I think, and they take that to heart. And I appreciate that. They want to get, I mean, of course, they also understand that if they save money and we spend it somewhere else, they're likely going to get the contract. So, it's smart business to help us do more with the money we have. So.
And Mr. Knapp would have been here tonight, but he's in Texas, so he sends his apologies for not being here, but he explicitly wanted me to tell you that he apologized.
Thank you. Yeah, because he's usually, I figured there was something that prevented him. He's usually here. So any other comments? Sorry. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and move on to sole source procurement. Dr. Valenzuela, this one's fast and quick.
Yes, sir, it is. You're after, I guess we said 11 years, you're very familiar with this process where we're allowed by state administrative rule and regulation to designate certain entities as sole source providers. They've all been thoroughly vetted, and I'd recommend your approval of the sole source list as presented.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Motion and second. Thank you. Any comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to 9A, the ASBA political agenda review. So this doesn't need a motion, so I'll go ahead and just speak to it.
Yes, sir.
This is on the agenda today because ASBA's 2026 political agenda process has started. And today, this is to provide you with a heads up that we'd like you to, as members, as the board, members of the board of a member of ASBA, to review the current political agenda and review it. And if you'd like to make changes, comments, please have those ready. I think at the next meeting, we'll have a deeper, further conversation. This is really just a warning, a heads up that it's coming. We do this every year. Sometimes it catches people off guard, so it's nice to have Ms. Reese to put it on here to remind us. So there really doesn't need any discussion about it tonight, just a heads up. It's on here. We're going to be talking about it. So does that sound okay? Great. My next question, Dr. Valenzuela, number B, 9B is a second read, and I think it needs to be talked about in full and complete comment. Is it allowable under the current policy for us to take C, D, E, and F as a single motion? Because they are.
That's a very thoughtful question, and I pondered it in my preparation myself. And the answer to that is yes,
Thank you very
specifically
much.
because it is a broad sweeping sum of similar items, and I'll speak to them very briefly here shortly.
Yep.
And really the recommendation, as is the board's customary practice, is to table them anyway.
Yep.
So I'm on the same wavelength as you, Dr. Sparks, and with your consent, I'll just dive into number B.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Because
very
you're
much.
right. This is actually an older advisory that has, I guess, a remaining action item. The board approved all of them except I think it's number 798. And I think because there was a question about whether it was one of our personal policies or one of the copyrighted ones from the ASBA. So the majority of that whole bundle has already been approved. At this point, what I recommend is your approval of that particular policy advisory, specifically the item number 798. It has to do with something that's already required in statute, which is giving open enrollment preference to dependents of active military or someone who has a dependent who was the individual was actually killed in action, was killed in the military, and so we're already in full compliance with that. So I would recommend approval of that policy adjustment as presented in the advisory.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Any opposed, same sign? All right, thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and move on to 9C, D, E, and F, which are all first read policy advisories and changes. And Dr. Valenzuela, if you would speak to them all as one unit.
One unit,
And we will move them as one unit.
Yes, sir, and they do fit as one unit. It's a very thick bundle, I'll tell you that. And so I took the initiative and reached out to Lynn Bondi and Charlotte Patterson over at ASBA, who are the policy analyst people that handle this stuff. And basically they confirmed what I inferred, which is that to their credit, they're working really hard right now to streamline, revise, reorganize the policy so they're more user-friendly and more logically organized and updated. And so if you look at the cover sheets on those, there's a lot of delete, add, move. And so most all of this is that reorganization. There's not a whole bunch of really substantive major transformational changes based on laws. And once again, in line with our customary practice, I would recommend tabling all of those, as you mentioned, the ones identified as C, D, E, and F.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. We have a motion?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. And now we will move on to item 10A, which I think we're all very excited about. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. Indeed, we are all very excited. You know, we believe very strongly that leadership matters, and every time that the opportunity comes up to add a member to the leadership team, it's taken with the utmost seriousness. I've outlined in detail. I will spare the granular detail because we just did this, I think, 1 or 2 meetings ago. But the process is very thorough, led by Mr. Downs and most recently by Mrs. Robinson in this particular search. Thorough process, multiple qualified candidates that were fully interviewed, and by very, very strong consensus, we're very excited, and I'm very excited to present to you the recommended candidate for this is the assistant principalship at Sahuarita Middle School, and it's an individual who's very familiar to many of us, Mrs. Elizabeth Dahl, who has been an educator for about 20 years. And Beth's been a part of our family here in Sahuarita since 2012. But in looking over her background, she actually hails from the great state of Wisconsin. And she started her professional career there as a general music educator for a few years there in Wisconsin before coming here. And I think she spent a brief time in Vail before continuing to move west in Sahuarita Primary School, where she's been a special part of our team since then. And she's not only a super effective, highly qualified teacher, as exemplified by many factors, including the fact that she's one of our National Board Certified Teachers, which is the gold standard of teaching nationally. But she's the administrative designee over there and has been for many years, the music department chair. If you've ever been to any of the performances that she choreographs, produces, and directs, I never cease to be amazed by the tremendous quality, the love and joy that these young children exude for music and their love of music, and how she manages 100 5, 6, and 7-year-olds at the same time and brings out that joy while still maintaining a semblance of procedure, discipline, order. It's a beautiful thing to watch. She's been on many district committees, including I know she's given much of her time to serve on my superintendent teacher advisory forum. She's also a very respected member of our professional development team, teaching courses in classroom management, in positive behavior, and in many of the principles of learning. Beth has earned a Bachelor of Arts in Music at St. Norbert College for her bachelor's degree, and her master's in educational leadership is from Marian University, also in Wisconsin. And so I am really excited about the addition to the SMS team, what Beth will bring in her background, her expertise, her passion, and her approach to leadership, and the compliment that she'll bring to Ms. Silman and the positive momentum that has been growing at Sahuarita Middle School. I think the future will continue to grow and the momentum will continue to rise, and I'm really excited to watch it. And with that, I recommend the appointment of Elizabeth Dahl as the new assistant principal at Sahuarita Middle School.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion? Do we have a recommendation? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further comments? I will add a comment if no one, I'll go first, but I am super excited. I think, Beth, I've watched you over the years. I think you know that I respect you and hold you in great regard. And I think your positive, unmatched positive energy will be a shining example to the students at SMS. And I think I'm just excited. I would go to your concerts just to watch you enjoy what you do. And I think I've said that to you before, so that doesn't come as a surprise, right? And so I know you've been a positive impact, and I know part of me is just a little sad that I'm not going to get to watch choir concerts from SPS anymore, but I think it is time that you move into that administrative role that you've obviously held a certification for many years. And I'm grateful that you've chosen to join that team. So I think that's my perspective. And I get a lot of head nodding in the room. The few people that are left, they all agree with me. So you're awesome. And I think I have to say that. And I don't know if there's any other comments on, if not.
Just want to ditto what you just said. So I've heard so many amazing things about you. It is bittersweet because I did see one of your performances was incredible, and we're just super excited. So congratulations. Almost. I can't say that yet, can I?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I have a feeling it will be positive.
It will be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If there's no further comments, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Very cool. Welcome.
Well, I have to thank my family that's here that obviously are noisemakers. And I want to also thank my husband and my son, Wyatt, who are not here tonight because my husband had to fly back to Wisconsin to move my son out of college, who went to main campus here. So I'm so excited to continue serving on main campus. And I think he is a shining star of what we can see coming from our campuses, so I'm very excited about that. As to Dr. Valenzuela, members of the board, district admin, and admin over at SMS, I just want to say, I want to express my gratitude for the opportunity to serve as an assistant principal at Sahuarita Middle School. I'm excited to serve the students, families, and communities in a new way as I leave the music classroom. I deeply appreciate and trust you have placed in me. I look forward to working with SMS students, staff, and the school community. I'm ready to collaborate and work alongside SMS team and help support the amazing work that's already being done. I am confident and will continue creating a positive and inspiring environment where students can thrive. Thank you once again for this incredible opportunity to serve. I look forward to working with each of you and the entire school community in this new role.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to item 10B, support staff work calendar. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. These are all annual items, and I will confess that in preparing for the meeting, I thought, oh, maybe we could take them all at once. But I think because they are unique, I'm going to take them one at a time, starting with the support staff work calendar. Mr. Downs, if you could please just provide a summary of the calendar and any basic comments regarding any changes or not changes that have taken place from the last year.
Thank you very much, Dr. Valenzuela. Of all three items, this is probably the most routine. It is basically looking at the holidays, days off of our classified employees and also our 12-month employees. There is no change from what it was this year for next year. The dates shift with the dates of the holidays, but other than that, everything is exactly the same as it is this year.
And so with that, I'd recommend approval of the 2025-26 support staff work calendar as is presented.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is the certified determination chart. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Sparks. Before I turn it over to Scott, the only thing I'd say is we strive with intentionality and fierce resolve to be as competitive as we can in the marketplace, in the never-ending quest for the most competent, capable, student-centered, dedicated people we can find to work with our kids. So whatever we give for a raise, the basic objective is to bring up the chart, the placement chart as close to that. I would like to give kudos to Scott. You and I know Dr. Sparks have had a conversation over many years about how we used to only be able to give like 6 years of credit when we're recruiting, and how we can elevate that while still respecting and supporting the loyalty and the dedicated service of our own people. And Scott's going to tell you what it's up to now, but I think we've achieved kind of the benchmark, I think. Right, Scott?
Yes.
So I'll turn it over to Scott.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the board's patience with that process. Our goal was to get up to allow 10 years of credit or service from other districts and recognize that and the knowledge that they have. We had started at 6 years, and every year we brought one more year of experience. If we would have brought it back, it really would have mathematically jumbled some of the current employees, and it was almost near impossible. So with the patience of the board, we have followed the direction of the board and has slowly brought that back. So with this one, we are to 10 years of experience, which is very competitive with other school districts. Jim has really dived deep into the numbers this year to not only when you're comparing an 8-year experienced teacher from out of the district and into the district, what he did was he took, assuming everything else was the same with education, is he followed a teacher who has been with us for 10 years and looked at all of the raises and the different things that we've done every year to figure out exactly where they were to bring up this chart as high as we possibly could. And we've done that. So with that and with the increased performance pay and 301 money, we feel that we have a very competitive chart. And each category was raised $1,175. We also have to look at, between each step, is it equitable? And so I feel that with Mr. Heinzelman's hard work, we have a very mathematically solid initial determination chart for our teachers, and will make us and continue to make us very competitive with other school districts.
And with that, thank you, Scott. I'd recommend the board's approval of the 2025-26 certified determination chart.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? I'd just like to add thank you for always making an effort to keep this as competitive as possible. And I look at it and it's actually highly competitive with many of the districts in the area. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's no further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to classified determination chart, Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sparks, members of the board, thank you. This one has perhaps been the most energy intensive, elaborate focused, because we've really been trying over the last couple of years to not just give raises and make sure they're above what new people are going to get coming in, but really look at the market forces. And because there's so many different categories, because these are our non-exempt FLSA hourly employees, and there's multiple categories, it's hard because there's more directions and there's more variables. But through those collective efforts, we've continued to move the same objective: as competitive as we can be, respect and support the loyalty of our existing team members while bringing up our marketing and recruitment efforts and what we can offer people coming in to the maximum level within our budget. Scott, what would you add to the?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Varlin. So I had to say the same thing. We did a study a couple of years ago that said what comparative districts were paying, and it's been our intentional effort to raise our existing employees to where we think it's in competitive market.
No.
Mr. Heinzelman, again, has about a 12-tab Excel spreadsheet that he's utilized to give existing raises and slowly and methodically bring our current categories to where they are. And with that, the determination chart for our classified staff really followed that same pattern of how we adjusted all the different categories and the raises that we gave within each category to match, again, what society says that position pays for. So in this one, it wasn't a standard, every category got 10 cents, because we have to worry about compression. We had to look at the study. We had to look at existing employees. So all of these categories raised anywhere from, well, I'll just read them. Category A, 19 cents. The next category, 19 cents, 53 cents, 69 cents, 67 cents, 20 cents, 47 cents, and then 14 cents and 7 cents. The ones that are a little bit lower is because we were already closer to what society had paid, so we didn't have to raise it that much. But when we look at some of these categories, raising that category by 67 cents gives us that much more of a competitive edge in the market. So again, I appreciate all hands that were that dove into this.
Hey, Scott, just to clarify
yep.
that, those numbers that you were just reading, that's above the 45 cents that everybody got, right? Or
No,
was that inclusive?
No, I have to check into that. I am not positive, because I know every existing employee got 45 cents.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the increase to the category.
To the category.
Right.
Gotcha. Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I knew each of our employees got at least 45, plus whatever their category differential was.
Right, and that was for existing employees. So
Right.
this is the raise to the categories.
Which now takes us forward to hiring new employees to all those various categories.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you, Scott. And with that, I would recommend the board's approval of the 2025-26 classified determination chart.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Was that? I would have guessed 40, so we're probably pretty close.
Oh, yay. Good.
But remember, to your point, Ms. Rodriguez, that was part, I would call it the beginning of the informal process that we've done in recent years to take a hard look on a system level at where we're at so that we can, with intentionality, go forward with a system that is competitive, financially responsible, and also within our budget limitations. That's a good point.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Next thing on the agenda is the consent agenda, which, sorry, I always just want to say, as Dr. Valenzuela says, we can take these all as one or in items as you so choose.
And my recommendation, as it usually is, Dr. Sparks, after all these years, is still that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety this evening.
So we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and establish the, oh, sorry. Anybody have any future agenda items they'd like to request at this time? Okay. Date of the next meeting will May 28th here in this building at the same time, and no executive session, so I would like a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.